Hi, welcome back to my channel. So for the first time, I am going to be including some book content on this channel, and I wanted to share for September my TBR for the month. It's my first time ever really setting a TBR because I'm such a mood reader, but I thought it would be a good way to introduce book content to my channel. So for relevancy's sake, I'm shooting this on Tuesday the 3rd of September, and I'm going to start off with some books that one is already released, two are upcoming, but they're newer releases, and then I have a couple that are older and have been out for a bit. So we'll go through them one by one. It's by no means in order. But we'll start off with the ones that I have my eye on already or that I'm keeping a close watch on, and then we'll finish up with some of the books that I am looking to read but they've been out for a while. So I want to start off with a book that I'm just about to finish, which is Daydream by Hannah Grace, and it was released on the 27th of August. This book is the third in the Maple Hills series, following Icebreaker and Wildfire. And this book follows Henry's story, which Henry has been a fan favorite for the majority of the series so far. I think people have been really waiting on his story, and I gotta say, the book is amazing. I'm just about finished, and it's definitely looking like it's going to be a 5-star for me. Next up, I am waiting on today for my ARC copy to be received for Fireline by Maggie Gates, and this is the third in a series of the Griffith brothers, following from Dust Storm, and then the other book was Downpour, which I came on Maggie Gates this year. She has quite a big, extensive back catalogue, and I've read just one of her books from before, but I came across Dust Storm because I do like me a cowboy romance. And Dust Storm was one of these books that I picked up. I had a little bit of an issue with the main female character, but the way it was written, you knew that there was a reason why she was the way she was. So it kept me going with it. I then became aware of the next book that was coming, and I'm very excited to read that, and as a result, Fireline, I am waiting for that to be released very impatiently. So I'm hoping and keeping my fingers crossed that I receive that ARC soon. The ARC for Downpour was released earlier than they had intended. They did an early drop of it, and that's not happening this time by the looks of it. But with that being said, Fireline is due to release on the 9th of September. The other two books have been out for some time, and they are sitting on Kindle Unlimited if you have that. Next up, I had wanted to include this, but then when I went to check the release date, I found out it's not releasing until October. There is a chance that I could get an ARC for it, but if I don't, I have to wait. And that is Slapshot Surprise by Melanie Harlow. It is in the Cherry Tree Lane series, I want to say. Let me just double check that. Yeah, it's Cherry Tree Lane, no, Cherry Tree Harbor series, and it's book 5, and it is following the only girl in the group of siblings. I've read these books. I love Melanie Harlow. in general, she's one of the authors that is a guaranteed good time when you pick up one of her books. But in this series we have Runaway Love, Hideaway Heart, Make Believe Match, Small Town Swoon, and then this new one, which is Slapshot Surprise. And I believe that Slapshot Surprise is Melanie Harlow's first foray into sports romance. And I do have an issue in general about sports romances, but because it's been there's been a lot of those books out. However, I do have a caveat around it that I will read it depending on who the author is. But yeah, Slapshot Surprise, I may get it as an arc, I may not. Next up, which was a surprise to me, just on its release date, because it is showing as release date of the 5th of September, which is 2 days from now, and that's Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver. But when I went to check my Kindle, the Kindle Unlimited version is actually available today, so I downloaded that. So excited to get into that. I love Elsie Silver. Then, given the time of year, we're coming into autumn, I want to put in some darker vibes, and I've been hearing a lot of really great stuff about the series The Zodiac Academy. So I think I'm going to dip my toes into that series and start off with book 1. I think it's called The Awakening, and see how I get on. And in that same vein, I have gotten into psychological thrillers recently with Frida McFadden. I know a lot of people have read her, and everyone pretty much says the same thing. They're incredibly fast paced, there's lots of plot twists, there's and the chapters are short, and you almost basically guarantee that you'll read one of her books in a sitting. And I have found that to be very true, because I was going through a bit of a reading slump last month, or for the last few months in fact, but I read 2 books of hers last month, The Coworker and The Teacher, almost back to back, and it really did feel like it ignited the love for reading again, which has been really, really amazing for me, because I was missing it. So with that said, I want to include one of her books at least this month, and the one that I'm eyeing up at the moment is The Inmate. So that's on the cards for September. Then another book or an author that I'm wanting to read more of is Abby Jimenez. I only read Part of Your World there a couple of months ago, and I really, really enjoyed it. So I'm actually going to continue on with that universe this month, and I'm going to read Yours Truly. If I get to the 3rd book, excellent. If not, we have we still have that for like the rest of the year. So as you can see, I don't have an extensive TBR listed out for the month of September. There are only 6 books here, and I'm almost finished one of them. So, and the reason for that is because I've been in quite a significant reading slump for a while. I don't want to overwhelm myself and push myself back into it when I'm just sort of stepping out of it. As I mentioned previously, I am a mood reader, so with that in mind, there could potentially be changes to that list. I might add something in. I have quite a few audiobooks sitting in my Audible library that I haven't gotten to yet, so one of those could be included. And then I could completely stop reading altogether, which I'm hoping is not the case. Either way, I will come back and do a wrap up. We may even do a reading vlog during the month of September. I'm new to this whole book vlogging or booktubing side of things, so I'm really, really anxious, and I really want to learn how to do it. With I've plenty of like travel videos that I've done this year from my trip to Florida, and I've learned a whole pile by when it came to sitting down and editing them, only to find that some footage was corrupt or it didn't transfer properly, and then it's just gone. I didn't get nearly enough footage at all, and it's an interesting learning experience, and I know I'm going to have that situation with putting out book content. So with that, we're all learning here, and hopefully we will have most of the previously mentioned books appearing in the wrap up at the end of the month. So what are you reading or planning on reading this month? Please let me know. If you have any recommendations, I'd love to hear it. And that is all for now. Thanks.